Hello, Rama Pupodu. Hope all are in great health, feeling wonderful, having a happy and peaceful life. Now let's continue with devotee Maurice Friedman. It remains a beautiful guide for serious seekers. I always recommend three books to sincere seekers for study: The Maharishi and His Message, Words of Grace, and Maharishi's Gospel. It was during such close interaction with Bhagavan that Maurice wrote a series of moving verses. Bhagavan read them with great interest. In two of these verses, Maurice says, "So long I have been on this stage to please thee. My eyes are blinded by the light of thy play. My ears are deafened by the rolling thunder of thy laughter. My heart is turned to ashes by the flame of real sorrow. My Lord, to please thee, I have made a fool of myself, and now I am unable to stop the agony of the play. My Lord, drag me down from this stage. Master, I have forgotten the way in and the way out." Bhagavan was happy to read through these verses. He said that this was exactly what had been written by Ayyappa Dikshidhar, a sage who lived several centuries ago. His verses in Sanskrit were written on palm leaves, and many people were not aware of them. Bhagavan said that Ayyappa Dikshidhar's verses describe the situation of the court dancer performing in the presence of the king. She cannot stop dancing unless it pleases the king to tell her to stop. The dancer's limbs may ache, but she cannot stop of her own accord. She cries, "O Lord, I am weary of the many births and deaths that I have endured. One glance from you, O Lord, is sufficient to put an end to this dance of birth and death, and grant me release." Bhagavan paused before saying, "Maurice Friedman belongs here. Somehow he was born abroad, but he has come here again. Otherwise, how is it possible for him to compose verses similar to Ayyappa Dikshidhar?" Bhagavan made Maurice continue his dance by not asking him to come down. As we are going to see, he had to continue performing on the world stage because he was a karma yogi who still had a lot of good deeds to perform. So Maurice flowed along with the state of things and continued working busily in the factory. Upper Pant, the Prince of Ado, who had studied in England, was sent to the Maharaja of Mysore for training in the art of governance. In the course of his training, he was asked to visit the factory in which Maurice was the managing director. When he went to the factory, Upper Pant, himself a calm and collected person, could not help being drawn to Maurice's brilliance and dedication. Likewise, Maurice too took a great liking to Upper Pant and started guiding him spiritually. He also impressed upon the young prince the need to focus on development in the villages of his state and to take science and technology there so that life became easier and smoother for the peasants. Appapan then told Maurice, "Please come to our state and stay there for at least 5 or 6 months and guide us." One fine day, soon after this, the prince found Maurice in his palace. Maurice told the prince, "I have come to you. I have resigned my job in Bangalore. I would like to serve the villages of the Odo state." The poor prince, poor not literally, did not know what to say. He could only say, "This state cannot afford to pay an engineer like you." Maurice, in his very characteristic manner, said, "I will sleep on the floor in that room. Just give me an Indian desk to work on. I have got legs to walk, and I will take you on my walks. We will both work together in the villages of Odo. Now, if you could give me some food, I am hungry. Maurice was always telegraphic, but very, very clear. Wherever he was, Maurice remained in correspondence with Bhagavan. We have to understand that inside he was all the time in the presence of Bhagavan. In one of his letters to Bhagavan, he wrote, "The Maharishi is with me not only when I think of him, but also when I am not thinking of him. Otherwise, how do I live?" Apapant and Maurice started working together. You will be surprised to know that Maurice's office was under the shade of a huge tree in a village. He lived in the villages he visited and worked very hard for them. Maurice heard about Mahatma Gandhi's deep interest in bringing decentralized democracy into the villages in order to empower them. He set out to meet Mahatma Gandhi to learn more about the process. Mahatma Gandhi took to Maurice immediately. He addressed Maurice only as Bharat Ananda. Everyone in his Sevashram addressed him in the same manner. Gandhi found that Maurice was not only a hard worker but also an inventor who was using the Indian chakra. By the way of blessing, Mahatma Gandhi asked Maurice, "Why do you not invent something by which we can produce yarn more quickly?" Maurice immediately invented a new chakra called Dhanush Takli. The extraordinary thing about the new invention was that one could produce 3 times the yarn with the same energy that was spent on the traditional chakra. Mahatma Gandhi was, needless to say, extremely pleased. When Maurice was with Bhagavan, Mahatma Gandhi or J. Krishnamurti, his method of first questioning, experimenting, and experiencing the truth at every level, and only then accepting and following it, remained the same. Such was his nature. This is exactly how he had led the 75 villages that he was reforming. He loved the poor, uneducated villagers and was so compassionate towards them that they felt purified in his presence. In fact, they addressed him as Swami. Maurice was successful in his venture in the villages, and very soon the whole of India became aware of the kind of life Maurice was leading. That's all, folks. Let's continue in the next chapter. Thank you. Bye bye. Rama Rama Puppodu.